I am the man. I am the king of my land. Doing everything that I can. I know.
All right, that's it, y'all. All right, the first halftime of the NFL 2023 season is under wrap. Let's first of all, the chat been lit. Appreciate everybody for coming out and y'all. I'm not been bored. Y'all been keeping me entertained. I hope I've been keeping y'all entertained. We got the conversations going. It's a beautiful thing, man. So I want to appreciate everybody for coming out and showing y'all love for the first watch party of the 2023 season. We're going to be doing more of these. Something me and Flight talked about. We're even looking at doing college football. Like I said, we're still thinking about Colorado, Nebraska on Saturday morning. So we'll have that decision for y'all in the morning. So I can go ahead and let y'all know if that's what we're going to do. Appreciate it, Darius. I appreciate that, bro. But we got the background going. I got the ticker going at the bottom. Look, we having a good time today, man. Just want to say I appreciate it. If you're here, make sure you share, like, subscribe to the channel, share it. We want to make sure that we want to get as many eyes as we can on it, so we can reach our goal for YouTube partner. We filled up we've met every requirement but one, and that's the one we're trying to get to, which is the public watch hour. So once we're halfway there, once we get that, we'll be able to start really molding this into a career, which is really exciting. So we're almost there. So appreciate everybody for that. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into, while we're at halftime here, let's go ahead and get into uh, week one preview. Week one preview is what I want to say. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go through uh, the teams, and we're gonna talk about it really quick. My boy Rob said I'm doing 2 college football watch along Saturday, Coach Prime. Okay, we might be doing Coach Prime too. If we're not, I'm gonna tune in. But for sure, I can do that. I can do the Maryland one. That's gonna be dope. That's gonna be a dope one. All right. So week one preview. Let's get into it. Let me know y'all thoughts in the chats right now. First game we're gonna start with is the Bengals and the Browns. Now, Joe, as we talked about, for those who don't know, breaking news: Joe Burrow just signed a 5-year, $275 million extension, and now that puts him as I don't know if he's not the highest paid, because Deshaun Watson's is a little bit higher, but that puts him in rare categories. So now Joe Burrow has been paid. He can go out there and play risk free, thought free, just get out there and ball. I am taking the Bengals to beat the Browns in week one. I'm going to make up a score here. I'm going to say something around 23-14, something like that. That's what I'm going to do, hopefully, for that. The Buccaneers and the Vikings. Like I said earlier, I think Baker Mayfield. Is really getting slept on from what happened in Cleveland, from what happened in the Rams. I think he's really, 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 really flying under the radar. I do think the Buccaneers will put people on notice in week one, as I think they will soundly beat the Vikings somewhere around 24-3 or 7, something like that along those lines. Next up, we got the Titans and the Saints. Jay, I know you're going to be at this game live in New Orleans, Louisiana. Titans and Saints. The Titans have Derrick Henry. They have Ryan Tannehill. They drafted Will Levis. They also have former Houston Texans legend DeAndre Hopkins. The boys is ready, but the Saints have really, 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 really beefed up this offseason, because them boys went and got Derek Carr. Derek Carr never could find his footing in Las Vegas or Oakland, but I do think Derek Carr is a very, very, very good quarterback. I think being in New Orleans is going to be around some Cajun food, some beignets, some funnel cakes, and some god doggone gumbo. Watch Derek Carr come out there and play his behind off. The Saints will beat the Titans this weekend. I do agree with y'all on that. He's 5'6", going up against everybody else that's about 6'3", and they weigh about 300 pounds. I think the Falcons with Bijan Robinson, and they got these good receivers and everything. I do believe that the Falcons will beat the Panthers this upcoming week. I just don't. It's hard for me to watch Bryce Young and think he's going to be successful. I hope he proves me wrong, but history says he won't. All right, moving on. Jaguars versus Colts. Jaguars versus Colts. I'm gonna go. That's a division. That's my conference. My division. Excuse me. That is my division. Being a Texans super fan. The Jaguars and the Colts is going to be a good one. Colts have a rookie quarterback, Anthony Richardson. I think the other day he spent 8 hours at the facility on his off day. They was hyping it up, thinking he was doing something crazy. I think they just doing all that to go out there and get their behinds whooped. I do think the Jaguars will beat them. I wish I had the spread. I wish I had the spread for these games. Oh, I do have it. It's on ESPN. So it's Jacksonville favored by Jacks. Indianapolis are 5-point underdogs. I do think the Jaguars will cover that spread. They will beat them by more than 5. Coming up next is the 49ers and the 49ers and the Steelers. The San Francisco 49ers versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. I do think the Pittsburgh Steelers will be very, 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 very good this year. I believe in Kenny Pickett, DeJounte Johnson, and George Pickens, Najee Harris, Minka Fitzpatrick. The boys is going to be ready to play on Sunday. The 49ers are 2.5 favorites. I'm taking the Steelers to beat the 49ers. I think Nick Bosa just got his contract. He hasn't been at practice all camp. It's going to take him some time to get used to it. Brock Purdy is coming off of elbow surgery. I'm definitely going to take the Steelers in this week 1 matchup. I do think the 49ers will, spoiler alert, Jay, the 49ers will end up in the Super Bowl, but I do think the Pittsburgh Steelers will win this first week of the season. The Cardinals versus Commanders. Trash versus trash. I'm gonna take the Commanders. I'm gonna take Sam Howell over whoever started. I think they said Josh Gibbs. I don't know. The Cardinals are trash. They suck. Buda Baker. I don't understand why they kept everybody but Buda Baker. I'm taking the Commanders to win that football game pretty easily. Oh shoot! I'm sorry, y'all. To close off the 12 o'clock slides. I was gonna wait till lab. I'm gonna go ahead and close off the 12 o'clock slides. I think I'm going. The game is the Texans versus the Redskins. Now the Houston Texans have a lot to. I said the Redskins. I'm looking at y'all thing. I'm tripping. The Texans versus the Houston Texans versus the Baltimore Ravens. I do think I was very high on this game. I thought that the Houston Texans would really go in and upset the Baltimore Ravens in week 1, man. But after looking at the injury report this week, yesterday actually, we got 3 starting offensive linemen that's on IR. Jimmy Ward is out, which is our defensive captain. John Mechie, who's been out with cancer and was out with the injury he sustained after in the national championship game. Everybody's out. Everybody hurt. Rookie quarterback. It's gonna be brutal. I can't lie. What's the spread on that one? The spread is Baltimore 9.5. I do think Baltimore will cover the spread against the Texans this weekend. As much as I hate it, as much as it pains me to say that, and I hope I'm wrong. I hope I can come on here and say I didn't believe. Because ain't that what Coach Prime say? I believe, I believe, I believe, I believe. We believe, we believe. But I don't believe we're gonna beat the Ravens. All right, coming into the 3 o'clock games, we got the Raiders versus the Broncos. I know. But everybody keep telling me about this jersey. I had 2 jerseys, and the Texans ain't playing. The Texans ain't playing. So I'm rocking my Ravens jersey. I do like the Ravens. I do like Lamar Jackson. I'm a fan of them. I wanted to go to Baltimore this weekend to watch the game. Coach Prime say a lot of things, but he say a lot of nothing too. Coach Prime just say stuff that's simple, but because he's saying it, it just gives it a little bit more power. But Raiders and Broncos, I do think this is going to be a very good game. I do think the Broncos will edge out the Raiders. I don't think the Raiders are going to have enough. So I'm going to definitely take the Broncos. The Broncos are 3.5 favorites. I think I take the Broncos to cover that. The Dolphins versus the Chargers. I think this is one of those them sneaky games that are pretty that nobody's talking about. But the Tua Tagovailoa and the Dolphins going up against the Los Angeles Chargers. I do think this is going to be a huge game this weekend. I do think this is going to be fireworks. I'm talking like a 30-33 kind of game. Waddle, Tyreek Hill, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams. Them boys are going to be ready to play on Sunday. I'm going to take the Chargers to beat the Dolphins, though. Eagles and Patriots. I'm going to make this one really easy. The Patriots are trash. I do think their defense will give Jalen Hurts a little struggle, but I do think he will come out with the victory. I'm going to say 20-7, 20-10 kind of game, but it's going to be pretty one-sided for the most part. Packers and Bears. You got Jordan Love starting for Green Bay. You got Justin Fields for Chicago. Chicago was able to add what is my boy name? What is my boy that came up from DJ Moore? The Bears were able to add DJ Moore. He's had a pretty good off season. I mean, pretty good training camp, excuse me, but we'll see. Justin Fields has a lot to prove. This is the year that he has to go out there and play, so the Chicago Bears can think that this is their quarterback. I think this is going to be a very, 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 very intense game for him going up against Green Bay. They used to have a quarterback that say, I own you. Now, I do think the Packers will be better than advertised. The Packers are projected to be one of those bad teams. I do think the Packers will be a good football team. The boys still have a great defense. Jordan Love has been listening and learning from the great Aaron Rodgers. Everybody's speaking highly of him. Aaron Rodgers said the kid is going to do wonderful things in Green Bay. I actually like Green Bay to upset Chicago in week 1. Jordan Love has a breakout week. We're talking about him on all the news stations. We're talking about him on the Don't Cancel Me. I do take the Packers to beat the Bears in a close game, 24-23. Rams and Seahawks. I think the Rams are going to be trash. Aaron Donald, I don't understand how he's still a 99 on Madden when Chris Jones has been the best defensive player, but it's just one of them things that once you're at 99, it's hard to take you away from it. But overall, Geno Smith, I think, will play really good football. Jackson Smith and Jigma, I think he's going to have a fun game going up against the Rams nickelback corners. I'm taking the Seahawks to beat the Rams pretty easily. If I had to predict the score, I'm going to say 30-17. All right, Sunday Night Football. We discussed this. Cowboys versus Giants. I don't think the Giants will be as good as they was last year. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. I'm taking Dallas. Dallas has added Stephon Gilmore. Dallas has a front seven that is ridiculous, led by Michael Parsons. Dallas has good linebacking core. Dallas has good receivers, good running backs. They have a really darn good football team. The Giants have Danny Dimes, Kayvon Thibodeau, and Saquon Barkley. I'm picking the Cowboys to beat the Giants pretty easily. I'm looking at about 28-10. And our last game of week 1, last game of NFL kickoff week 1, we got Monday Night Football, the Buffalo Bills versus the New York Jets. Buffalo is 2.5 point favorites to beat the Jets. I did watch Hard Knocks. It was a very, very, very fun show. I'm not a really big fan of Robert Saleh. He doesn't seem like a coach. He seems like he's a homie. Robert Saleh seemed like he